Welcome everyone to the 147th episode of Politically High Tech with your host Elias. In this episode, I am just going to strictly talk about the Republican second debate. A lot of you have found it trashy, and I actually don't blame you. And the reason I don't blame you is because I've seen some of it. I think it's a little hyperbolic, but I could understand why this debate can be considered inconsequential. I mean, some of the critics, both the left and the right, are saying this debate is really valid for someone who was running for VP because so many polls, once again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record to some of you, especially if you listen to my previous episode 141, that Trump continues to dominate. He continues to dominate. Yeah, over 50%, 51, even some of them. Yeah, he has a vast majority despite having a crowded field. That is quite an accomplishment in polls, but the polls are only snapshots. They don't really give you they actually do give you indication if it's clear like that. If it makes a 1 to 5 point difference, then yeah, you can take the polls with a grain of salt because the margin of errors normally lies within those ranges, 1 to 5%. In this debate, I'm going to talk about who are the winners and the losers. Primarily, I typed as much responses as I can, try to get an analysis of who I thought did great, who did shit. Yeah, I'm allowed to curse. I'm a grown ass man. And I'm just looking at a lot of them. I mean, there's some that won, there's some that lost. It's gonna be no middle ground. Nope. You can have a winner or a loser, and it's not limited to the candidates at the debate stage. It can include the moderators, it can include the 1 and then 10, it can include the network, which in this case is only Fox News. With the collaboration of Univision, that's what I had a third panel representing the Latino demographic. I refuse to say the woke terminology. That I just refuse to. Make me say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to confuse it with a cleaning product. If it's insensitive, oh well. It's just so that term. I mean, I find a lot of them disgusting, but that one is one of the top 3 in my opinion. All right. Anyways, before I go on a rant about wokeness, I'm going to talk about candidate based on my notes, and I'm going to talk about Tim Scott. Tim Scott, I thought he won. He did better in his first debate. The first debate, he hardly had any attention. The second debate, he did decently well. I will barely consider him a winner. That's the most gray area I'm going. I barely consider him a winner. He said some decent points. He commanded some exchanges, but I think the one with Nikki Haley, I think Nikki Haley came out on top. And what did he say about the union workers? About the UAW, the United Auto Workers strike? And I'm going to share the screen so you could see some of my notes. It's not the most impressive looking, so be kind. Yeah, right. You can be as vicious as you want. Go right ahead. What do I care? I'm a cheapo, as you may realize. I'm not going to use any of the other softwares. I'm using Notepad. Yeah, Notepad, free, right? I just type in the notes. It's not like there's supposed to be anything enlightening or innovative. Mainly it's opposite. Okay, so Tim Scott, he said unions want more benefits, less work. And the Biden administration should not underpromise and underdeliver. Well, let me correct that right now. Overpromise and underdeliver is what he really said. And if fentanyl destroys the nations, blah, blah, blah. He also said Biden should be fired and the American dream is still alive. That's a good thing to say. A lot of people don't think so. And it came to childcare. He says giving choice to parents. And he says Biden raises the cost of childcare. There's some truth to that. They talk about immigration. Sorry. Immigration. The 14th Amendment applies for slavery, not illegal immigrants. Ramaswamy was in business with China. Yeah, when it came to Ramaswamy, he was definitely superior. He came out on top. And of course, he argued with DeSantis in regard to that. When it came to crime, Scott didn't say anything that was of note, some interesting. So I know you said something about education. Black families survive obstacles. LBJ stands for Lyndon B. Johnson. Remove black fathers with the Great Society. Restore family capitalism to heal America. Okay. And did he say anything of note regarding big tech? Ukraine gets 90%. Yeah, then they kind of switched to freaking foreign policy, which went sideways from there. Ukraine gets 90% of the loan paid to NATO. Degrade Russian military is a top priorities. That's what he's saying. He supports the war. Sanction more Mexican cartels and make the right partners to buff intelligence. Then anything regarding prices, like inflation especially. I should consider this. Maybe do inflation. Pass a balanced budget amendment to constrain congressional spending. I agree. Congress spends way too much. Of course, he fight with Haley. Yeah, that's when Haley came out on top. And then he talked about his experience on he's the only senator that has a Latina chief of staff. I mean, it's a woman of Spanish origin. Spanish, it could be even Hispanic origin or Latino origin. I'm not going to get to the differences between those words. That's not what we're here for. But yeah, someone who is not white, and that's, not white, not black. Definitely in a Spanish-speaking group. Good for him on that. I mean, he's really standing for meritocracy, even if it ends up being, all right, that's the way, in my opinion, it should be, based on meritocracy. It cannot be just because you're white, black, man, or woman. Has to be because you have to be the best of the best. Okay? Pretty good, Tim Scott. Gotta give him that credit. So I believe he's the winner. He's one of the winners. Okay, let's get to my favorite, Ramaswamy. Loser. Yep, loser. Yeah, that's quick wits, but oh my gosh, he sounds so freaking annoying. It's not like a child. I just can't take. He just gets very offended with the word no. Whines and complains. But let me just get through some of the points he said. To me, loser. He got slam dunked by Nikki Haley. So every time I hear you speak, I feel a little dumber. Oof. I mean, he gets attacked hard, Mr. Ramaswamy. Some people call him Swampy. Oof. Yeah, you're not well liked, Mr. Ramaswamy. You're just not well liked. According to the United Auto Workers, sympathizes with the workers, not the boss. And he says protests should be at the White House and embrace fracking. What else? The Ramaswamy said. Okay, so for childcare, he said there's good people on stage. Yeah, that was nice. But he's such a con. They saw right through that. And then, of course, immigration, they should militarize the southern border and birthright citizenship, which that's a hot take for sure. And crime, back to the whole border thing. And I'm just summarizing here. This is how I take it. This is not verbatim. This is how I interpret it. Okay. This is based on my interpretation only. Let me just be absolutely clear about that. This is my interpretation. Ramaswamy said, build cartels, smuggle fentanyl, remove big pharma as a drug supply. Some things I agree with him, but I don't trust him to be president. Okay. He says something no for healthcare. No, I don't think so. And then kids education, transsexualism, transgenderism is a mental illness. Parents should know if kids want to change their gender. I absolutely agree. The fact that you're keeping parents away from kids with that is very sick. It shouldn't even be a partisan issue. It should be a partisan issue. Look, there's some parents that want their kids to transition. You don't think that doesn't exist? And then, of course, there's those that don't. Okay. You have to figure it out as a family. I will say let families figure it out. Stop having government interference. Okay. And for Big Ted, Ramaswamy defends social media use, reaching next generation, use social media. He will listen. I don't think he will. He had a peace plan with Russia. He wants Russia as an ally. If they're going to be an ally, they need to end that war with Ukraine and need to help rebuild Ukraine. Those are conditions I would put. They invaded that country. Inflation, use natural resources to cool prices, put people back to work, reduce the federal workforce by 75%. Then what else Ramaswamy said? Victory. America belongs to America, not to a single man. He was referring to Trump and himself. I tell you, I'm saying the right things, but I don't trust him, and he lost because he got slam dunked and piled on, especially by Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley continues to eat this dude. She's just like the older sister that shuts up her younger brother. That's the relationship it seems like for me. She just seems like that older sister that puts the younger brother in his place, especially when he's saying things that makes him think he's better, superior, more progressive. Shut up, little boy. I've been around the block. Yeah, to me, that's the way I see the relationship. And that's an insult to Ramaswamy. I don't I don't really trust Nikki Haley either, but she knows how to debate a lot better than him. I'll say that much. Next one. Pence, loser. Another one lost, in my opinion. Pence lost. He needs to stop because every time when he defends his record, he is technically defending Trump. He was under the Trump administration. The fact that he's running against him, well, I'll have to agree with Patrick Bet-David of Valuetainment. He's trying to protect his legacy. That's the most sense you could make out of it. Yeah. All right. So what did Pence say? Because I want to get this one over. Biden should be an unemployment line. I think that was one of the. I'll say that's his best thing he have said. And I was talking about the United Auto Workers. Pence, he didn't say a lot of things that important. And his thing with immigration is negotiate the Mexican government to reduce illegal immigrant flow. He criticized DeSantis with the spending. Didn't land that well. What else Pence said? Pence said he's sick of time issues as a father, supports the death penalty, but he didn't answer a lot of healthcare questions. He said the power consolidation would have been done to Trump, will have been government size, and he will shut down the federal education department. Yeah, he didn't speak that much. And of course, education stand for all liberties, pass a federal ban on transgenderism and empower parents. And then, of course, when it came to big tech, which it turned out to be a war foreign policy kind of thing, peace comes through strength. And this is me paraphrasing again, let Russia go wild. We'll give the green light to China to take Taiwan. He's not entirely wrong on that. And then inflation, Biden ended use of fossil fuels to open federal lands, and they lost energy producer leader in 2006. Interesting. And yep, that's about it for Pence. Pence was not that interesting, and he definitely didn't get a lot of. He didn't make a breakthrough. Okay, he just did not make a breakthrough. Nikki Haley, winner. She was on the money when it came to the inflation, even though she was talking about all the workers, but it relates them because they have to pay for that. So there's a lot of people. Pay high price. Like she would eliminate gas and diesel taxes. I support that. Defund sanctuary cities is not going to work, but the federal government should be more involved with containing the immigrant problem. It needs to be done. And then once already here, just make them citizens. Okay, especially those who are contributing. In crime, it said officers, they can't do their job, they lack support. And when it came to healthcare, she said make price changes. I should put changes. And negotiate with providers also makes healthcare competitive. Good idea. Good idea if that could work out. Make sure that the quality doesn't go downhill. That'll be my only concern. Education, teacher scoring lowest ever. School choice is the only way. State should decide, not federal government. Vocational classes should return. Financial literacy, not DEI, should be focused on school. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with her. I agree with her. And then she criticized whole TikTok, has access to all personal information. Then, like I said, big tech turned to a whole foreign policy, border, and they probably switched it, but it was so unclear that I'm not going to watch it again. I don't want to watch it again. So if this considered fraud, if this considered inaccurate, leave it in the comments. That's what comment section is there for. I didn't restrict it. I'll just approve it if it's a spam or not. That's the only restriction is. As long as it's not spam, I'm fine. Haley, take out the cartels entering relationship with China until they behave. Agree. Haley attacks Scott for increasing debt. Yep. Anyone in Congress is guilty of that. Doesn't matter Dem or Republican. They're the same on that. Yeah. I mean, she destroyed Vivek, just like I said again. I'm not going to repeat that. So she's a winner. Burgum, let's make it even. Fourth loser. What am I saying? I can't count now. He's the third loser. I got a fourth loser, but it's not Burgum. So Burgum, I like some of Burgum's ideas, but he's just not pushing through. He's going to eventually drop off. Yeah, he's going to eventually drop off. He's part of the weaker tier, unfortunately. He's part of the weaker tier. So Burgum. So we have Ramaswamy, Pence, and Burgum. Those are your three losers. Three winners, in my opinion. Scott, Haley, and DeSantis. The rest are losers. I only had three winners and four losers. So Burgum, the third loser. Like him. I like his ideas, but he's not going to make it. I got to be realistic. He's not. So only subsidized electric vehicle is a problem because China controls the vast majority of rare earth, which is a hypocrisy to Biden. Absolutely agree. I mean, he was interrupted because he knew he had to get points in. He tried. He didn't make much of a breakthrough. He really did try, though. I got to give him that. He really did try. The criminal saying the left punishes law-abiding citizens. Oh, absolutely agree. Absolutely. Focus on mental behavior health, respect the police. All right, some pretty standard stuff there. Burgum. Subsidize particular hardware, tech on healthcare, spending more for less productivity. All right, that's an idea, I guess. Burger, he's a great business leader, create most meaningful jobs, made school innovations to reduce bureaucracy across the state. He's bragging about being the governor of North Dakota, because that's what he is right now. I mean, Burgum says America got the best farmers and ranchers in the world. The policies help them grow. I pays get U.S. hostages a rich enemy, and by Biden's climate policies are such a threat. Okay. And when it came to inflation, said money against the federal government shrink the state budget by 20%. All right, and that's it for Doug Burgum. It's not that he said bad things. It's just he's not getting out. He's just not making breakthroughs. It's just he has to learn how to appeal to more people. Good ideas, though. If this comes to ideas, I'll say he's the best. But sadly, it's not about ideas. It's about how you can pull people in, and he just doesn't have that kind of charisma. It's a problem. It's a problem. Fourth loser, Christie. I mean, he did got some attention by calling Donald Trump Donald Duck. Okay, some people laughed, some people didn't like it. I mean, Christie, he's the most aggressive one in there. Voters should blame Washington, Donald Trump, and add $7 trillion. Biden. I mean, those numbers are way off. That adds a total of that, but that's what he does. Biden goes to golf carts to run away. I mean, he made some funny stuff. And Child Case says treats like a law enforcement, and immigrants need to fill these jobs. Trump fails on the wall. So he's a moderate when it comes to this makes him moderate. He's not anti-immigrant. Go after crime, put attorney general to reduce crime, improve law in all areas. Yep, Christie. Of course, Donald Trump made fun of him back. Putting the foreground with the buffet while he was talking. That's very Trump. More charter schools, Renaissance schools will lessen the achievement gap. I'm for them. Those schools ran by the teachers union, not the public. They defend the worst teachers. Kind of true. Because Christie, AI, we should embrace AI, enhance productivity, retrains Americas in colleges. Americas cannot be afraid of innovation. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I'm pro AI. I agree with him. And the Ukraine war make Europeans accountable. At least I care about that. That's DeSantis. Whoops. Not paying attention. Christie. Yeah, North Korea, Iran, China, helping Russia. Previous presidents have been wrong on Putin. We'll go after Poland. What else Christie said? Defund Planned Parenthood 14 times in blue states, being pro-life for all stages, not just for the 9 months in women's room. I agree. That's been one of the big hypocrisy of the conservatives. Yet they want to protect precious babies, but once they commit the crime, it could be as young as 13? Actually 16. Let me just go with 16. No, let me go with 18. Going with 18, right? Yeah, death penalty, fair game. Well, they no longer value life. That's been a big hypocrisy. And I have to absolutely agree with Christie. I'm happy they call him out on that. And he's the only one that playing into the candidate off the island thing, which a lot of them find disrespectful. He'll vote Trump off. His absence disrespect viewers. He's a divider of chief. Yeah, so he attacked Trump most aggressively. I give him some points like you'd have to do that, but it's just not working out. He has such a strong hold in the Republican Party. He has such an amazing hold in the Republican Party. He has an amazing hold. He just does. He did change the Republican Party. Rather you love him or hate him. It's a fact that he changed him. I mean, that's proven the polls right now. He's winning by miles. Not by hairs, miles, okay? And that's something. We cannot be breaking up his lead decrease if we go state by state, of course. But he's doing very, very well. All right, let me get to the final person. The third final winner, DeSantis. DeSantis did so much better than he did his first debate. First debate, he was just so uncomfortable. He didn't speak that much. That's what Vivek and Haley especially was gaining ground. But I think he's going to maintain being number 2. DeSantis he's irresponsible fiscal policies, I should put policies, impacts all. Yeah, very negatively. Biden and Trump are missing in action. I skip some of the noses because I don't find them that interesting. At least choose to surrender to China on the immigrant issue, remove Confucius Institutes. Oh, yeah, you got to remove them because they are just a pathway for the CCP to spread propaganda and get Chinese citizens and U.S. soil. Yes, that does exist. If you don't believe me, watch first post with Palki Sharma. She will expose this with great detail and evidence. This is how I became aware of the Confucius Institute. I watch foreign media. Yeah, because American media just puts junk and makes you dumber. Okay, great. So let me just get back to DeSantis. Yeah, man, that's what to mention because the Confucius Institute. He's absolutely right on that. DeSantis. Crime. In Florida, we back the blue. He removed progressive attorney generals. Yeah, remove them. I mean, when it comes to crime, I would generally agree with the right. You need to be tough on. I mean, look what's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Crime is decreasing. I would say even in the city by a little bit, but we need to recover. We need to go back to years where crime was very low, and just make it a little better is not enough. That's not a high standard. Being better than 2020, 2021. That's not a very good standard. And I have to really bash the left on that one. If you think that's great, then something wrong with you there. You need to be much lower than 2020, 2021. All right. Anyways, what I was up to with DeSantis before I lose my mind. Healthcare, experienced population boom, GDP's number one. Yeah, but now it comes out debt handling. We had $33 trillion in debt. Can't keep going on like this. Education he says schools should focus on indoctrination, not education, universal school choice. He also created Parents' Bill of Rights. Absolutely true. That part he did. And I will support that. Big tech, to say it's a big tech monopolies, be it China and economies, it's very important. Yeah, they do. And they also restrict free speech too. That's something that must be clamped down. And Ukraine war make Europeans accountable. Elites don't care about Americans. Oh, of course. That's obvious. You have to be very, very dense and supremely unaware not to know that. Inflation put costs on college, especially remove funding if college supports transgender surgery and woke indoctrination. Yep, I agree. They are supposed to be educating people, not indoctrinating. And he says Dems love infanticide. Bit extreme, but the far left one does. Not all Dems. And I like what he said about path to victories. Polls do not elect, voters do. That was very good, DeSantis. I'll say he has the greatest improvement. Most improved candidate, DeSantis. No doubt. Big difference, 9 and 8 difference between DeSantis in the first and the last debate. So let me just stop sharing this. Yeah, absolutely. So, and then now let's go to some moderators. In the loser category, they're going right there. Yep, they couldn't manage time. It created chaos. They lost the moderators. The moderators for first debate, they were a bit better. Some chaos happens. It was able to clamp it down. Sometimes with some delay. So, and then Fox News, they lost at the lowest viewership ever. So they definitely lost, And the winner that wasn't the debate is Trump because he maintains the lead. And he's actually letting Fox bleed dry because he's not there. If he was there, ratings will go up. He's a ratings generating machine, whether you like him or not. He generates lots of ratings. A lot of people pay attention to him. Yeah. So those are the factors outside the candidates that made some winners or losers. Fox News lost. I would agree. I've skimmed through Vox, VOX, and they said Fox lost. I absolutely agree. They lost. Lowest viewership and ratings in years. Yeah. Atrocious. They are just crumbling. They're crumbling hard. They are crumbling hard. Okay, then. Let me just wrap this up. This went on long enough. So the losers, Fox, its moderators, Doug Burgum, Christie, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Mike Pence. So you have 6 losers. Winners, the only one that had 10. Trump, you got Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, and Ron DeSantis. So those are your winners and losers. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? If you enjoy, like this episode, destroy, obliterate, crush that like button. Subscribe for more, okay? And leave your opinions in the comment section. Alrighty then. You have a blessed day, afternoon, or night.